this video, I will try to show you how to become better at PvP in Minecraft, both in version 1.8 and in 1.16. Therefore, the video will be split in two parts. And also, I'm just starting out YouTube, and any support is therefore greatly appreciated. Enjoy! In this update, your main weapon is definitely the sword, since it does more damage than the axe, and the cooldown doesn't exist. Now, the main thing here is strafing and clicking as fast as you can. If you can get up to about 7 clicks per second, you will be able to match most, at least casual players. There are other strategies of clicking that can go a lot faster, like butterfly clicking, but when you use them, it's a lot harder to aim. Now, the most important part is that you hold down either A and W when you attack, or D and W. This way, when you're hitting your opponent, and you're not just going in a straight line, so that they can easily hit you back. If you press down D and W at the same time, you'll be going in a slight diagonal, which makes it far harder for them to hit you. Now, one of the best ways to actually practice your 1.8 PvP skills is to go to this server, pvp.lan, not sponsored. I mean, let's be honest, why would anyone want to sponsor me? And practice against the bot that they have. Because the bot has different levels of skill. So if you start off with easy, it's a lot better than practicing against players, because if you play against random players, like here, then you would get matched against significantly different skill levels, which will make it a bit harder. Whereas here, you know exactly how good the robot is. There are also a few different modes you can play in, but as a start I would suggest just Sumo, since it doesn't have any items and it's just you versus the bots, and you gotta try to just knock him off. And with this you can really practice your strafing and CPS skills, if not as much else. In 1.8 and in 1.16 PvP, it's a really good idea to use hotkeys. And they don't have to be very advanced, but using just your mouse buttons, which is button 5 and button 4, is a good idea, since they are easy to reach and you can get to them a lot quicker than scrolling or pressing one of the numbers up top. The most important things that differentiate 1.8 PvP and 1.16 PvP is, first and foremost, the attack cooldown. You can see there was a small bar which prevented me from going and attacking again. I could attack again, but then I would do significantly less damage than I would otherwise, so that is not recommended. Another important thing is to just use crits. Crits are critical hits that you get from jumping and falling at the same time as you hit. It does 50% more damage, and it is essential if you want to become good at this kind of PvP. Another of the most important elements of this kind of PvP is the shield. The shield blocks you from any attacks going from the front, but using an axe you can disable the shield. The sword, if you compare them, has higher DPS, damage per second, than the axe, but the axe does a lot more damage, which suits this kind of PvP, and the axe has also got the ability to disable shields for a couple of seconds, which is basically how you hit your opponents in 1.16. You'll usually be standing in a standoff until one uses the crits, A good strategy in 1.16 is to just be the defender and wait, and as soon as they release their shield, you can just go for the crit. Another huge part of this is the preloaded crossbow. Since you can't release your shield for more than less than a second to get your hit, the preloaded crossbow is a great way to get your opponent away from you when your shield is disabled. Say, for example, I try to get a hit but my shield is disabled, then I can quickly move to the crossbow and shoot. If I would have a bow, which does far more damage, you can't see that here, but it does far more damage, but it takes so long to load that they would easily get up their shield, and then the bow or the crossbow does nothing. So using a preloaded crossbow is a huge thing. The best way to actually practice 1.16 PvP, I would say, isn't on servers, because there aren't many servers actually using 1.16 PvP. So the best way is probably to play with your friends, if you have the possibility of that. Otherwise you could play 1.16 PvP on CubeCraft, but they do not have very many players playing there, or is customization, so you can't choose to play with axes and shields. It's comes just a bit random, and that is mainly the way you will be playing in this version. Now, those are the most important parts of PvP and the main basics of them. Hope you learned something. See ya.